So taking me for a tour of the Natrax facilities is Dr. N. Karupaya, who's been the man behind this track, and now he is the man in charge of the whole Natrax facility. Mr. Karupaya, thanks so much for joining us, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And just starting off, to be honest, I want to ask you, this project was sanctioned in 2005, and it's taken 16 long years for us to see it, finally complete. Definitely worth the wait for sure. But why did it take so long?
Okay, perfect. You see, as you rightly said, the project was sanctioned way back in 2005, and we have come a long way. We have faced a lot of challenges in terms of, let's say, technical, contractual, administrative and financial. There are different challenges which we faced, and which of course we have been resolving them one by one after another. And maybe here I will take the opportunity to highlight the technical challenges what we had in construction of this marvelous high-speed track.
Yeah.
Right. So now, for example, as you know, the proving ground is primarily an open-air laboratory, right? Meeting the stringent specifications in terms of, let's say, the regularity of surveys or the evenness of surveys, and also meeting the specific requirements of the test standards, right?
Right.
Now, for example, now we are going on this high-speed track. Now, this is a closed circuit, and this straight portion of 2 kilometers is connected with a parabolic curve, and the parabolic curve of course has been designed for a neutral speed of 250 kilometers per hour. And this transition curve, I must highlight, since it's 11.3 kilometers curve.
Yeah, it's a very, very long parabolic and very consistent, very even. I mean, the whole radius is a constant radius, isn't it?
Right. In fact, we have the advantage of 1,000 meter radius curve. But the point I'm trying to say is the straight portion has to be connected with the semicircular curve using the transition. And the transition curve has been specially designed to give, let's say, seamless entry. Like for example, now the high-speed track has to give, it gives an infinite length. So obviously we have to have a seamless drive, or a jet-free drive, or a smooth drive, for which this we have designed the transition curve specially.
Yeah, and just talking about it is such a, how do I say, a smooth surface, and just the way it's been constructed, absolutely world class. You must have had to use a lot of specialists and consultants for this. So, I mean, what sort of outsourcing did you do for this track?
Before that, I would like to touch upon, like for example, the 2 kilometer long straight, what you see out here. This is absolutely level and even, what you can see here.
So
0% longitudinal gradient,
right,
and the evenness to the level of plus minus 3 mm tolerance. So that's the stringent specification which has been specified. To achieve this, and of course, let me talk about the challenges. For example, if you talk about the topography of the land, there's an altitude difference of 20 meters from one end to another. But then, to keep 0% longitudinal gradient, so what we had to do is we had to deep cut up to a depth of 13 meters on one side of the curve, and we had to build embankment up to a maximum height of about 7 meters. So that is why we were able to maintain a 0% longitudinal gradient on the straight portion where the testing is done. Obviously, when I said open air laboratory, so we have to produce accurate, repeatable results, right? To produce that, and of course we also need to have even surface, so that we have a seamless drive, or a jet-free drive, a smooth drive.
Right.
And of course, there are proving grounds in which the curves have been designed of concrete, but here it has been designed of asphalt, what you can see here. So the point I'm trying to say is absolutely smooth and jerk-free ride you can have in the entire length of 11.3 kilometers. And of course, this primarily being 11.3 kilometers, it gives you an opportunity to drive maybe a 300 kilometers per hour on and on and all that.
Yeah, 300 kilometers a walk in the park over here.
Right.
What I've noticed, it's poured over here, literally torrential downpour, but the track, no standing water. drainage is unbelievably, the water just kind of runs off, evacuated very fast. In fact, even the track seems to dry up very quickly. Was drainage a big focus area? Because I think that's something you can't afford to have, let's say, puddles or standing water, especially on a high-speed track.
Yes, you made a right observation. Water is enemy to asphalt, right? And especially when we have a deep cut of about to 30-meter depth and all that, you can see how much water would be accumulated. And therefore, what consultants or the contractors have been able to execute is that there are drainages given on, let's say, both sides of the pavement, and above the deep cut section there is again a 2-layer of drainages. And there are 4 lanes of drainages, so effectively discharge the water. They get let's say diverted to the culverts and they pass it away. And that is why even in let's say deep monsoon and all that, so we don't expect any water stagnant. And this water stagnant, of course, it will allow us to do the testing continuously. That's number one. And also it will also allow us to protect the pavement life, and of course, as far as test tracks are concerned, these are not built every now and then. So obviously the test track is designed for like long lasting, for a long life and all that. So that is how we have taken all measures to have the water drainage properly.
Right. And just coming to let's say the response to this track so far, obviously it's quite new, but who do you see as your main customers? Obviously the OEMs is who it's designed for, but do you think being a world-class facility, you could even look at international OEMs, especially from the region, Southeast Asia region?
Yes, certainly. So as you rightly said, it's primarily meant for the local OEMs, and maybe not only that OEMs, the component suppliers, like the of course I must also highlight our center is a center of excellence in vehicle dynamics. The tire plays an important role in vehicle dynamics, so you name any tire industry, they have already started using our facilities. So the OEMs, the tire industry, they are going to be the prime users, and also the service providers. Like there are some service providers whom the OEMs approach, and in absence of such facility, they used to go abroad to countries like China, Korea, Taiwan and all that. But now, of course, that exodus will not be there. The local industry will certainly be able to test and meet the requirements here. And not only that, it doesn't stop with that. So as you said, the Asia Pacific countries like Taiwan, Malaysia, and all. These are the people who don't have the track of this magnitude and variety and the quality of construction what we have. So I'm sure we can expect some customers from these countries as well. And not only that, of course, we also expect possibly some customers from Europe, in the sense that Europe, we all know that
in the winter season,
that's
right,
they are closed. So when they have to let's say find an international proving ground, and of course once they get to know that such facilities are available in India, I'm sure we will get some customers from there as well.
Right. And a last question, what do you think this is going to do for the automotive industry in India? I mean, we don't have this facility. Do you think it's very future proof? Because clearly this track is built for a lot of supercars, and there's no how do I say, I mean, in that sense you can max out almost any car, especially on the high speed track, and you've got other facilities as well.
Well, let me talk about the utility of this high-speed track. This is a multi-purpose track wherein you test, of course, the max speed, acceleration, course down, fuel consumption quite accurately. In addition to that, the on-center handling at high speeds, especially the double lane change and all that at as high as 200 kilometers per hour, and also the high speed stability of vehicles, all that can be tested quite extensively out here. And it's not only that, this track is primarily for measuring let's say the high speed performance and also the high speed durability of vehicles. And when I say high speed durability, as I said, even in 300 kilometers per hour you can run on and all that. So in the process of development of a vehicle, for example 120 kilometers or 200 kilometers, every OEM has their own test cycle wherein they test the entire let's say the powertrain by running let's say for so many kilometers non-stop. so that this track gives an opportunity for that validation for the OEMs. And of course, as I said, this track is primarily meant for high-speed performance testing, high-speed durability testing, and also high-speed handling and stability testing. So that's the purpose for which the tracks have been built, and I'm sure the local industry will certainly make full use of it. And in case, let's say, we are just going to wait and watch how it is going to be capacity utilized.
Right.
And in case we feel that we would ideally love to have this facility, let's say, running on a 2-shift basis, and in case after some time if we feel that it's not capacity utilized, then now there's always there's a lot of inquiries floating around now.
The supercar guys,
we want to let's say enjoy or the experience, the thrill or the joy of driving at high speeds and all that. So of course we are taking it with a pinch of salt in the sense, and the proving ground, there are two things which are very important, the safety of cars or safety while driving, and also the confidentiality. So without compromising on that, if we can accommodate them, we are just considering loudly, and then possibly we'll just make up our mind. In case we do that, we have to have the safety protocol in place, and then we should be able to entertain them as well. And it's primarily, when you say racing, it's not exactly racing. So
it's just driving fast.
Yes.
And safely.
Experience the driving of supercars,
Right.
So that is what possibly we thought we could. We're just considering we could give them an opportunity as and when we have a proper system in place.
Right. Well, on that very positive note, Mr. Karupai, I'd like to thank you very much. I'm sure a lot of supercar owners will be thrilled to know that such a facility exists. It'll allow them to achieve their own personal top speeds, which I'm sure they will do in some of their cars, because hitting over 300 over here, which is impossible to do anywhere else, is just so easy. So I'm sure it'll be an absolute game changer as far as not only the industry goes, but anyone who drives on this track. Thanks so much for talking to us, and once again, congratulations for building a really world-class facility. I am genuinely just blown over by how phenomenal all the test tracks are. So thank you very much.
So one thing I'd like to conclude saying that of course, this facility, we expect to help the Indian automotive industry to develop safe, comfortable and high performance cars in the country.
We look forward to that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.